Hey guys, good morning from the beautiful islands of the Philippines. It's Sabbath morning, it's an overcast day, and I got a message last night that the electricity is gonna go out at 7 o'clock, which is around, yeah, almost less than an hour from now. So I have decided to get as much video out before the electricity goes out. Because when that happens, guess what? It's for the whole day. This thing will not come back until like 6 p.m. So, anyways, want to welcome you back to my channel. I have some amazing things to share with you this week. And if you have not give a thumbs up today, you need to do that. All right. Leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and you can follow me on Instagram, and you can also like my Facebook page, follow my Facebook page. And yes, I have reached more than 1,000 followers and more than 1,000 likes all in 2 months. So started that page 2 months ago, and I already have more than 1,000 likes and followers. So amazing things are happening. People are inspired, and I'm going to share with you some of the reasons why so many individuals have decided to follow my missionary pilot journey. So, good morning again from the Philippines. And without further ado, let's get straight into this week's report. The week started out pretty much on a sad note. I told you last episode that I got a request from a patient. I didn't transport the patient going into the hospital. She went in about she was 25 years old, went to the hospital, kidney problems. Her kidneys failed on her. I came back to my duties after a short break, and when I came back, I got a request saying she wants to go home and die. The weather didn't cooperate to help me with that mission, so I couldn't fly for 2 days. Then I had backed up patient who was more critical than her, and so they were prioritized first. By the time I finished that and the weather cleared up, she died before I could take her home to die. She wanted to see her kids, at least see her kids before, but just never happened. So I got a request to transport her body back to the relative for the funeral. They were really grateful. It was a sad day. It was just me and her husband for pretty much an hour and 45-minute flight. And so I did that mission, and it was just one of those heartbreaking missions that I had to do. If you ask me what are the saddest missions, is when I have a body who was a patient lying in the back of that airplane. A lot of things go through your mind. You're wondering, could you do anything different? Could you have, so many things. But nonetheless, I did get multiple messages from the family saying how grateful they are um, for being able to see their loved one. And, it helps them with that closure. So that was my first mission this week. Really sad. On my way out, I transported these two PMP officers. One of them in the green, he said he's been stationed in Batanes for 10 months. So I'm thinking, man, this man hasn't seen his family for almost a year. And he said, I've been following your posts on Facebook. So if you're watching, sir, good morning from the Philippines. So he's like, yeah, I've been watching your stories and your posts on Facebook. I know it's finally a blessing to fly with you. When we landed into Gigarao to drop them off, they were really grateful. Sir, praise the Lord. Thank you, Lord. They were saying that. And I think, have anyone who follows me long enough will know that I'm very grateful to God for every successful mission. Usually when I do these missions, I will top off my tank with fuel. Once I go to Batanes, it's my longest route. I will have enough fuel for around 7.5 hours of flight. Even though it's gonna take me just 4 hours for a maximum 5 hour flight to get these missions done when I go to Batanes and come back to base. but I'm always bringing extra fuel because I know I'm out for a long period of time. I cater a lot for the coastal towns. So I'm figuring maybe there might be an emergency while I'm way up there north in Batanes. I may get a call from the doctor or something. So I always want to be ready. And guess what happened? I was ready. When I landed, like 15 minutes before landing in Tugigarao Airport to drop these two gentlemen off, I got a text message from the doctor. Cap, we have a stroke patient, very critical. Can you help? I said, ma'am, yes, I'll be there in 30 minutes. So when I dropped them off, they wanted to chit chat a little bit. I say, hey, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I have a critical patient that I need to rush to another area to pick up. So they said, no, no, no problem, no problem. So I jumped in the airplane, I took off, and I picked up this lady, senior citizen, and I was able to get her out. The last update I got was they're trying to still find another hospital to put her because everywhere they're gonna put her, um, there is somewhat of no vacancy available at those hospitals. And what's happening, it's kind of a sad, it's a little sad, the story, because her age, with the pandemic right now, any senior that is sick, regardless of what their illness is, they will suspect them of COVID. And when they're suspected by COVID, um, they put them in a special area of the hospital for at least 3 days. And then if they don't have any symptoms, whatever, they will transfer them to a regular room, a ward or something. So now it's just not the time to be old, unfortunately, because they suspect you. You don't have to have no symptoms, just that age, you're sick, you need to go to the hospital. It's like they quarantine seniors once they are sick in the hospital. So we'll continue to pray for her. After that mission, I had another mission. This is the deputy chief of police and two other individuals heading back home. They were excited to get back. They waited for a while. They came the first day, deputy chief of police at least, and he had to go back, but he came again. Nonetheless, it was a blessing to take them home. And the reason I was able to do this mission was I had a request for this pregnant lady. So you know me, I always love to transport pregnant lady. They're mostly my patients in the coastal area. So I transported her out with her husband and I dropped them off into Gigarao. She's about 40 years old and having complication with her pregnancy. So I was inspired by this because my wife is not yet 40, getting there little by little. So I'm like, wow, yeah, 40-year-old can still give birth. So I have hope. Yay. So that was a blessing. The police continue to do their checks. Once they arrive, they will have them surrender their documents to show that they have done the requirements to travel. And my route looks something like that particular mission. So it's like a little heart shape, And when I see a lot of things when I get this. So this is just an app that it's an app. It's my tracker as well. And this is something that helps to keep me alive out there where if anything happens and I go down, it has a search and rescue button. It's like a $25 per month subscription. I didn't have to buy the device. The director, the minister had the device, which is about 100 and something dollars for the device. So the subscription is my responsibility to pay for per month. And that's a blessing to have something where I can text. So in areas where my phone doesn't have signal, I can text. I can text the doctor. I can text about weather. I can text somebody back at home. Anything is happening, that becomes my source of communication over the waters, especially. My next mission was back to Batanes again. I went to Batanes twice this week. The next mission was something that I shared the story and somehow it went viral, right? So these days, what's happening with me is I'm sharing in a few selected groups what I'm doing, and I'm getting a tons of traffic. When I say tons, I mean sometimes I do a small little video, and within a 24-hour period, it has gone up to thousands of views. I did one, 2 days, had like 5,500 views. So when I go viral like that, I don't know, but it seems like Facebook is tagging me as a scam or something, because it's like I'm not supposed to be generating that amount of traffic. There's just too many people liking my posts, reacting to my posts, and so on. So, anyways, the winds were picking up this week. When I went up to Batanes, I'll be honest, I was really challenged as a pilot. And I have alternate in terms of if I get there and I cannot land because the winds are too strong, I have enough fuel to take them back to where I dropped them off. Fuel is not an issue, but it's like you don't want to fly almost 2 hours to drop them off and then not be able to finish the mission. Fortunately, the if for those who understand the winds were more coming directly ahead, but it's gusting, and when it's gusting, it keeps shifting. It's not staying in the same position, and then but I mean, we were like on a roller coaster ride up and down. And what was the mission that day? You guys got to keep watching to see, right? Before that mission, I started my little project where I'm gonna plant bougainvillea along the edge of the airstrip. And the little I've been able to do so far when I'm coming in on the approach, beautiful. Like I cleaned a wide enough space, and then I put the sawdust on top that will keep the grass down. And when it rains, the sawdust gets wet and it keeps the thing moist and cool. These bougainvilleas so far, they are spreading like what? It's just growing. My neighbors visited and they saw what I'm doing, and they are donating bougainvillea towards this project. So I'm like, yay. And most of the colors are gonna be pink. I like pink bougainvillea. So, anyways, while doing this week, I was just reflecting on one little moment in my life. I had a lot of low moments, but many of them I remember them. And one was I finished up high school, and this post went viral. I kid you not, thousands of views for the video, a lot of comments, and these are the things that's causing Facebook to spam my account because I'm generating too much traffic within a short span of time. So you guys gonna have to help me to share. No, I cannot post in groups and stuff that I don't manage. So most of my life now is just focused on my page itself. So, anyways, I was doing this manual work and I reflected on that part of my life where I finished up high school and still a teenager. I left my mother's home that I want to go fend for myself. I didn't always have work. And so what happened was an Adventist family adopted me. They did pretty much, they gave me housing, but I couldn't just depend on them for handouts and every single thing, or I might as well go back home. So I didn't have work sometimes. And I remember, I would never go to bed hungry because the lady would always at least give me breakfast and dinner, but lunch was pretty much my responsibility. So she realized that I don't have work consistently, and I didn't have work at one point. So she said, I have a sweet potato farm beside the house, nice big area. And she said, you can clean that out for me. If you find any sweet potato, it's all yours. So, I was out there working. I didn't have lunch. I didn't have money to buy food to make a meal. So, I made a wood fire. I found some sweet potatoes and I roasted that. And I asked for some water as well. She gave me some water. So I'm roasting the sweet potato. And I'll be honest with you, it was heartbreaking for me to be at that low point in my life. And I didn't share, I shared some of the story on my Facebook page in typing, but I didn't share something else about the story. The main reason why I was suffering like that and really struggling financially and work was I had multiple interviews for jobs, but they would deny me, they would deny employing me. And it was mainly because I'm a 7 day Adventist. What happened was in my letter of application, I would put there I'm available to work from Sunday to Friday. And my interviews would last less than 5 minutes because they would just read that one line. I'm able to work from Sunday to Friday. And they would ask why. I said, because I'm a 7 day Adventist Christian, I don't work on Saturdays. And they would say, well, we don't have any job for you. So I was getting denied from jobs left, right, and center, and it was solely because of the fact that I don't work on Saturdays. And so I was in that garden weeding the sweet potato, and I looked up to the skies and I said, "You're just gonna sit there." And I had tears in my eyes. I said, "You're just gonna sit there and just watch me suffer like this, perish." And I prayed and I was talking with God, and I'm maybe sound like Jeremiah saying, "You have deceived me." But I was really challenging the Lord, and I said, the reason why I'm in the sweet potato field, just eating roasted sweet potato and drinking water, is because of you. I said, Lord, it's because of you. It's because of your Sabbath. It's because I have decided to rather suffer hunger than work on Saturday to earn a living. And so, yeah, I wrestled that day. And anyway, long story short, I got an opportunity to, the Lord just started opening avenues for me that I could have gotten out of those poverty situations to have work and be able to earn and feed myself, etc. So that I shared. Anyways, that is enough said about that story. So while working in this garden, I was just reminded of that while I was doing my cleaning and so on. The weather satellite was showing some horrible stuff, but I went out and there was no thunderstorm, and it was just nice, beautiful layer along my route. And as you can see, I still had visual reference of the ground. Good news, good news, good news. I told you guys in episode 918, this is episode 19, that Washington Post is Martin right here, Martin, San Diego, and Regine, right? So Martin is one of my followers on Facebook. He's been following my story for a while, and he is a photographer, journalist as well, I think, with Washington Post. Regine is a writer. So Martin's been following my story, and then he messaged me one day, "Hey, I've been following your story. I work with Washington Post. These are some articles I've written before, and I would like to capture your story, but I'm gonna ask my boss." A week later, he asked his boss, the boss approved, then he did all the travel requirements, joined long line, then drove for 10 hours to come to my little area and document my story. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was just blown away. Like, he showed me some photoshops. I was like, whoa, that article, not just the words, but the photos are gonna just, it was just amazing to see how this guy took photos. He had drone, he took videos. Like, I am hoping to have a lot of people watch it, but he told me with the Washington Post, when they published it, I don't know if it's gonna be a free thing, but I know you gotta have subscription in order to watch. I mean, to read their articles. So I'm gonna be getting a copy because I have to proofread it first before they can publish it. But I know I cannot share it with. Anyways, so we will see, right? But nonetheless, they were with me, and I took them flying. I showed them how to fly. We did a mission together, and the mission we did together, we did actually two missions. So 2 days we went out flying, about total for about 7 hours we spent together. 7 hours flying in there, and there were times they would fall asleep, and then they wake up and they asked me a million questions, a lot of questions. So anyway, nonetheless, this was the mission that we did together. And what happened is I've been getting a lot of messages from people. This photo right here, it went viral. It went viral. What happened was This family, I transported, the husband needed to do surgery and his wife accompanied him, Mom Gurley. Hi, Mom. Good morning. She might be watching this. Um, so, anyways, I transported them before. I think episode maybe 15 or 16. It's the story where I told you that there was no ambulance to pick them up from the airport. There was no private vehicle. And I inquired because I'm used to the routine of when I drop a patient off, I will know how they're being picked up, which hospital they're going. I will pass on their name and phone number to my contact there, Pastor Esther June, who will be praying with them, encouraging them, visiting them, and helping them in whatever way that he can. So, anyways, they didn't have a vehicle. So I'm like, interesting. So anyway, long story short, they took public transportation, which is these cute little motorcycle attached with a sidecar. They call it a tricycle here. I was able to walk for them for about maybe 5 minutes walk, let's 3 to 5 minutes walk, and I flagged down one of those things, took it to the airport, and they were able to go into the hospital. They did their surgery. I'm girly sent me a photo when Sir was recovering. I think his name is Sir Glenn. Um, when he did the surgery, she sent me a photo asking me to pray that he has a speedy recovery so that they can go back home. And then after that, I didn't hear much from her that after that. And I'm thinking they're not from Tugigarao, they're from Batanes. Usually, when I bring patients out, I know at some point I will take them back. So a week passed and then another week, and I'm wondering what's happening. So I got a phone call from someone saying that they're having struggles getting back home. And as I shared in my post, when it comes to patient as a priority going in, we prioritize them, but when they recover, it's their responsibility to go back home. So usually we help them, but they have to basically cover for the fuel to get back home. So they were struggling. They didn't have the donation for the fuel. And like what I did with my other patient that did the brain surgery, the Lord just impressed it upon my heart to go a little bit beyond my regular routine. And I cannot use the ministry's fuel to just do missions like this because we do prioritize other contacts. But every now and then, personally, I make it my little challenge to ask the Lord for money to get fuel to help this family. And when I was reading the comments, and it's just every now and then you have these patients who they come a little closer to my heart somewhat. So anyways, I didn't tell my Facebook followers or why I need money. I just say, hey, help me pray for $200. And I didn't say what I needed for. I just say, this is what I'm asking you guys to pray for me. And I had people message, this person sent a $50 donation. This one sent 100. Another one wanted to send 1,000 pesos. And like multiple people pitched in. Some of them were praying. Some saw the post and they inquired. And it was a blind fundraiser. And the outcome of it was I know you guys been following me, and you guys know I will never come on social media and ask people for a dime to put a box of soy milk on my table or granola or what. I just won't because God provides for my physical needs. All my needs are provided. But when it comes to helping other people, I always lack finances. And I tell my donors and those who become friends with me, this work, it really saps a lot of finances. When it comes to money, it's never enough. And you'll see why later on as I share more of this. Did I just lose my photos? What happened? What happened? I just lost. I cannot see my photos here. Oh man. Okay, are you guys still seeing me? I hope you're still seeing me. Yeah, I just lost my iPad got kicked off here and I cannot see any more photos. So anyway, I shared that experience with I shared that post where God provided the money, and I remember I messaged them. I said, "Mom, girly, get your documents. Like this was a faith approach. I asked, I didn't post anything yet. I followed up with my contact, and I was told that that's their challenge. They want to go back home, but they don't have enough finances to help pay for the fuel to go back home. So I said, okay, ma'am, I told my contact, Pastor, let's pray. We know that God can provide. And I said, I messaged, I told my contact, tell them get their paperwork done because by God's grace, I believe Thursday I'm gonna get them home. Folks, I didn't have a dime yet. I didn't see any donation yet. I didn't post anything yet. I just said, we're gonna go by faith. I told them that, anyways. So they got their documents. I remember I messaged her, Mom, get your travel documents. Thursday, we're gonna take you home. I said, whatever finances you can get help from your relatives, friend, whatever, just get whatever you can and make sure you're at that airport Thursday. I'm gonna take you and your husband home. And when God provided, I took them home. I put that little post together of that story. And I've had a lot of people are messaging me. A lot of them are from Batanes saying, I've seen what you're doing. And some of them, they're saying, I want to give a donation to your ministry because of what I see. And one person wrote me, he said, I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from, but you're a godsend. And when I get this kind of feedback, I'm always telling them it's not me, Mom Girly, it's not me, Sir Glenn, it's not me. God is the one just simply using this black lump of clay to remind you guys that He loves you. He loves you and your family very much. And He's just using us, this aviation ministry, the airplane, me as a missionary pilot. We are just instruments that He uses to be a blessing to you. I lost my photos here, but we helped some more pregnant women who wanted to go home. So I had the team with me. They were taking pictures and videos, etc. They spoke with some of the patients themselves. They talked with some of the mothers to get an idea of what I do and so on. When I say that this many, and again, I keep cautioning my donors that, hey, we always appreciate your donation. And when you become friends, many of you, you've been talking with me, we dialogue, we go far beyond. Yes, I have my photos again. It could be gone again. Okay, guys, I gotta show you. Say the picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So we're gonna be picking up right here. Okay, done. All right. This photo is a taste of what's coming. These Washington Post people, man, they take classic photo. Like right now, when I take a photo with my iPad, I'm like, oh, when I look at these quality photos. So, anyways, one of the things that I liked was my wife was challenged. Usually she's busy, but we had to feed the team breakfast and lunch every day. And I remember when they came, we were okay here. When they came, I sat them down and I told them what my routine is. I told them what my day looks like, what to expect when it comes to weather, winds, alternate fuel, the passenger, the patient. I gave them all the info. And I said to them, Irene, can you grab me one of those things up there, please? So I told them it's nice to sit at this table and have a very good meal, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I go out there, I get so absorbed. I have survival food, but it's not all the time we're gonna be able to come back for lunch. So when you go out with me, have a survival bag where you bring necessities to maybe spend the night in a hotel somewhere. And so I said to them, make sure you have survival food. So I gave them like two of these things, and it happened. We went out and we couldn't come back in time for lunch. And I said, do you have your survival food? Yes, Cap, we have our survival food. For me, it's a routine now where I throw one or two of these things in my stomach. It boost my blood sugar level, and I just keep going, going and going and helping the people. And I in that story I share with them, one of the reason why when I'm doing this missionary work, I don't feel hunger is because I know what hunger feels like. I have gone to bed hungry many times. So when I eat a nice breakfast and I go out and I miss lunch at 12 and I'm there 2 o'clock, um, that's not real hunger for me. I know what it's like to have hunger. And in Jamaica, we say you're hungry till your tripe a twist. You're so hungry that your intestines begin to curve and twist with each other. There's no food, and so that's what it sounds like in my dialect. I'm hungry till my tripe a twist, until my intestine is twisted. So these things are a lifesaver for me when I go out there, and they had to bring some of those. So we did some more missions together. These are successful stories. The lady here with the smaller baby, I brought her out and she gave birth, and it's a beautiful story. She was able to get back. This mom here with her baby was also another patient that went out. This lady in black pants was also another patient, and the guy in the middle, that is the watcher for the lady that gave birth to that new baby. The other patient here is a stroke patient to my right, and another mom with her baby that went on. These are all success stories. They took the airplane, they went out, they got their medicines, they got their checks, and they are going back home to reunite with their family. It's not every day I get to be in the photo. Usually I take the photo, but with Martin and with me as a photographer, he was able to take the shots. I was like, man, it's so nice to have someone taking the photos. Um, for me, the weather here was challenging. So this was the kind of weather I was dealing with basically. Um, it would rain at my location. I have the visibility in VFR and I could get out. But then, even though it was clear VFR conditions or visual flight rules where I can see where I'm going, I can see underneath me, etc., the winds were horrendous. When I put down that airplane in Batanes, I one of the worker, you got to go over to my Facebook to see it. One of the firefighters, I think, recorded my landing, and in the video you will hear him say ooh 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 because the winds were pretty strong. They were not something to play with. And I'm thinking, no, when I go to Batanes, that's one thing I really need to be mindful of, how strong the winds. And I was told winds can get up to 60 knots. So I cannot procrastinate when it comes to checking the winds. We're coming up to the end here. Again, we always appreciate your partnership and your support, and we share these videos each week to let you know where your donation goes. So this is a photo that breaks down. We need to update it a little bit more. There's some new things that came up, so we need to just modify it a little bit. But you go over to my website, By His Stripes Ministries 1844.com, and it will give you where your donation goes, and it gives you various options of how you can donate, what app. Tax deductible receipts are available as well. We are a 501c3 organization, so we can tell you how you can get tax deductible receipt. Just shoot us an email, By His Stripes 1844, and let us know how you would like to donate so we can get your tax deductible receipt. So we're very grateful. Washington Post has come. Um, a lot is happening right now. I haven't started on it yet, but coming up, I'm gonna be working on multiple things. One of them is I'm gonna finish my project to the side of the airstrip. Next week, what's lined up next week is there's a new schedule now. So we have a pilot. He's a returning pilot. He's not new. He's serving as the director for this project. So now we have one airplane, two pilots. So basically, my reports are going to be much shorter now because out of the 7 days, I will cover for 3 days. So whatever mission comes up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I will be the one covering for those missions. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it will be him covering. So we're going to be sharing the airplane. So that means less flying for me, less stories, less missions, etc. Um, the airplane is coming up where it needs a new engine. Hopefully, in the next couple of months, it's going to need a new engine. That's another big bulk of finances. But I'm thinking and praying, which direction should we go? We are open to another airplane, so it's something I'm praying about. And people ask me, how far do you want to go with this mission aviation? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. My ultimate dream is to be able to have another airplane. Yes, that's as far as I want to go. I have learned from those little journey of faith. Then the big one is, and I'm very optimistic about this. You know me, I'm a man of faith, guys. The sky for me is no longer the limits. And I say that very humbly. The sky is not the limit anymore. When I see things now and it has a certain price tag to it, I am very optimistic. And one new thing I'm doing as well, I go for my walks in the morning and I do a little selfie video on my walks. If you're one of my followers from my Facebook page, you have to go and enjoy that. So if you're not a Facebook person, maybe it's time for you to get a Facebook account. You don't have to have a lot of friends. You don't have to post. Just make an account, find me, Flying by Faith, like my page, follow it, and you can get fresh updates, fresh videos, inspired videos. Some say it's sermons, some will say you're preaching truth, etc. But you can get those. So when I go for my walks, I'll share a Bible verse, different hymns, and just inspire people in the morning. It's early while the sun is yet to come out, the birds are singing, the dew is still on the grass. That's my meditational time with the Lord. I have a crazy idea again. It's going to be a journey of faith, but I already did my research, and the ideal airplane for this area here in the Philippines that takes low maintenance, very good on fuel, get the job done is a Cessna 182. A Cessna 206 is also useful, but it's a little bigger. It's a six-seater. It costs a little bit more, but I'm more comfortable. My faith says a Cessna 182 is good. I'm looking at price, they're like $75,000 so far. And you know me, the three steps, right? What are the three steps to do something great for God? Number one is you have an impression. It's just something you're impressed to do. Then you take it to the Lord in prayer. And after praying about it, you wait for divine providence. It's a video on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. How to do something great for God. Three steps. One, impression. Just something in your heart, a desire, heartfelt desire. And number two, you take that heartfelt desire to the Lord in prayer and pray about it. It might be months, it might be years. Just pray about it. And number three, wait for divine providence. I have been praying for a divine providence. Yes, I have. And God has been giving me hints so far. So that's going to be another big journey of faith. We're talking about like the cheapest one I've seen is $75,000. And I don't know, but we'll see, right? But that's going to be an amazing story of how God, he provided a patrol, he provided my license. And now I'm praying and saying, Lord, I'm ready for the airplane now. So we're gonna see how God's gonna provide. Thank you guys for watching. Again, on behalf of Philippine Adventist Medical Aviation Services, I am grateful. Yours truly, Davin Bennett, humbled to serve the people, love the people, because I have done many other effort in ministry. This is the best one that I have seen so far, where it's not a cheap effort. It's like the cross, as I've been sharing. We give people the best when we help them with this airplane. God bless. Mabuhay from the Philippines. And a summary, yeah, I every week I keep forgetting. The note is here, I keep forgetting. This week, I was able to help 2 patients, 6 returning patients, which is 6 successful stories, and 1, 2, 3 of them were moms with their newborn baby going back home. Praise the Lord. and five assist or watchers. There were two passengers. We brought home one dead patient. I spent 15 hours flying this week. In that short days, 15 hours, and I burned 163 gallons of fuel. God bless Mabuhay from the Philippines. And we will see you guys for episode 20. Wow. God bless, and we'll talk soon.